Hello and welcome to the Storytelling for the Soul podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Kanata, and this is the place we talk about all things expressive writing and other creative techniques, all with a little bit of Buffy the Vampire Slayer thrown in. Buckle up and enjoy. Welcome back to another episode of the Storytelling for the Soul podcast. I am recording this on the 30th of December 2024. And it might seem like a bit of a strange episode to be publishing at a time of the year where we've obviously just come out of Christmas, if you celebrate, and we're moving into a new year and all the things that come with a new year. And typically, for most people, the new year symbolizes a brand new slate, fresh beginnings. They may put together goals or resolutions, but I'm actually dropping this episode now very deliberately because I know from multiple discussions that I've had with several people, and it's just the way that life is, this is not exactly the happiest time of the year for many people. And by this, I mean the holiday break, the festive season, whatever you call it, it does tend to exacerbate a lot of people's feelings, depending upon their unique situation. For some, it might mean spending more time with family, which could be challenging and problematic. For others, they don't necessarily have any loved ones to spend time with, and that only highlights the isolation and loneliness that we're feeling. And so this time of the year has a way of putting a massive magnifying glass on all the aspects of our life that we're not 100% content with. And it's a bit of a dramatic title, I get it, when life falls apart. But I want to come at this from a place of positivity and perspective. Because the reality is in life, things happen. If you're of a certain age, unfortunately, let's face it, they happen at any age. But if you're of a certain age, chances are more things that you perceive as being negative or bad, whatever your terminology around it is, have likely happened. But if we can bring ourselves back to awareness and understanding that things happen, and then we, with our minds, and we take all of our past experiences into the present moment, we then colour what happens. So if we can develop the ability and the practice of looking at things regardless of what they are, and I know that this can be insanely challenging, and let's face it, for some things that happen in life, and there are many horrible things out there that happen to people, there is no way of looking at them as good or positive. They just are pretty crappy. Regardless though, we have to find a way to move on and keep moving forward. And my message for you today is that it's actually in line with what one of my mentors says. And I've come, at first when I heard it, it was a bit jarring to me, and I thought, not sure about that. But I have grown to understand the sentiment. And the idea is that what happens to you is not your fault, but what you do and how you move forward is 100% your responsibility. And I think there are definitely elements of truth. And like I said, unfortunate things happen to people all the time. But let's take a really basic example. If I went outside now and I went down to my car, which by the by, I don't actually own a car, but let's pretend for this example that I own a car and I had a flat tire. whatever I take away from that experience, the tire is still flat. I still need to do something about that flat tire. What I have no way of knowing is that because I can't hop into my car at that exact moment and go wherever I want to go, maybe I've avoided an accident. Who knows? Would I just, because I've got one flat tire, go to the other 3 tires in the car and slash them because, we're having a shit day already? Apologies if you're listening to this with kids. We're having a shit day already, but we may as well just go all the way. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because so many people are stuck in this all or nothing mindset. And the more that we feed the idea that nothing is working for us and nothing is going our way, the harder it becomes to dig ourselves out of whatever hole we find ourselves in. And this is drastically different for different people. I've come to know from having so many conversations that people who you think are living the life of their dreams are not necessarily living the life of their dreams. The more you understand people and realize that so much of our lives now, and I think this is largely because of the advent of the internet and social media. So when we're looking at someone's social media feed, we're kind of always looking at their highlights reel. And we just assume that that's their life 100% of the time. We also assume it's how they 100% feel about their life. But reality is, you never know what's going on in someone else's life. And if you're anything like me, completely guilty of this, we make a lot of assumptions without even thinking about what someone else might be going through. So for example, if I went to a networking meeting and someone completely brushed me off, another business owner, I'd come away thinking, wow, what a snob. But who knows what's happening in that person's life? Maybe they're dealing with the diagnosis of a really horrible illness. Maybe they're dealing with their partner leaving them. Maybe their kids are giving them grief. Who knows? We only ever know what people allow us to know. And in this world, in 2024, leading into 2025, and I can't see things changing anytime soon, I don't know about you, but it feels like a lot of people are simply playing characters. They're keeping up the show. So if you're resonating with this right now and you're not feeling good about your life for whatever reason, I can't say why, but some of the more common things that I hear, basically, people are stuck in jobs they don't want to be in, people are stuck in relationships they don't want to be in, but they're too afraid to leave. Many, many, many women have so many responsibilities that it's completely overwhelming. They've got kids, they've got elderly parents, they work or they have a business on the side. They are just completely overwhelmed. Whatever your situation is, here's my message for you. You have everything within you to change your life. I 100% believe that. So much about building a better life is having self-trust and self-belief in yourself that it can happen for you. I speak to so many people. I tend to speak to more women, so that's why I often call upon the examples of the women that I speak to. But basically, they just can't see a way out. They don't think that they're talented. They don't think that they can be independent. It's almost like they're backed into this corner and they're just so overwhelmed by everything, they've got no idea what that first step could be. So if this is you right now, what I will say to you is get really aware. You may be aware, but most people are not really aware in my experience. They're kind of just going through the motions. And if you continue down that track, I promise you, we will get to the 30th of December 2025 and you will be in the exact same position. Or worse, potentially, maybe you've just burnt out from the fact that your life is so far away from what you want it to be, what you need it to be, what you know it can be. So if you're listening to this right now, please work on yourself to develop that awareness. And you can do this in really, really small ways. Of course, I am going to say journaling. It's a really simple, cost-effective, quick way that basically anybody can start jotting down their thoughts. All you need is 5 minutes. Take that time. Do it daily. Do it twice every week. Do it weekly. Whatever suits you. Start actually understanding and becoming aware of what you are thinking and how you are feeling on a regular basis. That's the first piece of the puzzle. Now, as you're going through your daily life, I want you to actually focus on what you're feeling in your physical body from the neck down. Because let me tell you, the body does not lie. There is so much wisdom in our physical bodies that most of us never actually experience because we're living 99% of our lives in our head. And I get it because I was one of those people, and our society values intellect. We have been trained, we have been taught to constantly think, and for so many people overthink, and obviously anxiety can be in the mix. It could be anything depending upon your situation. But as you're going about your everyday tasks, whether that's, taking the kids over to a sleepover, it could be catching up with your best friend for a coffee, it could be going on a walk with your partner. I want you to really focus, and this is a bit of a practice, but it can just be as simple as shifting your attention to your body and starting to notice what you are feeling in those moments. And what you are feeling could vary drastically. You could be feeling calm, peaceful, nothing at all, or maybe you're noticing an accelerated heartbeat or breathlessness or just a slight feeling of constantly being on edge. Take notice. This is your body's way of trying to talk with you. And then if you blend this practice with journaling and find other practices that vibe with you and you can fit into your lifestyle, because let's face it, not everyone has the same responsibilities and time commitments. But for example, for myself, I'm currently on leave at the moment, so I've got a lot more spare time than I usually would. But my practices that I do regularly, and look, at the moment I'm doing them a little bit more happily and without any time pressures just because I can. But I like going to the gym 4 times a week. I will strength train. The other times I'll do some form of cardio. I like going into the sauna for 10 minutes for recovery. While I'm in the sauna, I like doing meditation. Now, if you've tried meditation in the past and you've concluded it's not for you, please try different types of meditation, because I didn't realize this at the beginning either. I actually do not really like guided meditation, but I love meditation that has music or nature sounds. Take the time to find what fits for you. But there's so many activities out there that could really help you to move into your body. I know yoga is a big one for people. Qigong is another option. I actually plan to experiment with that myself. But think about the things that you can do that will help you to really foster that mind-body connection throughout 2025. Because here's the thing, without awareness, nothing can change. Now, I'm going to leave this episode here. Thank you so much for your time. Whenever you are listening to this, I wish you a wonderful start to 2025, and I hope that all your dreams can come true. If you are interested in one-on-one personalized support to blend what I do, which is basically embodied writing and other body-based approaches, to help you on this journey throughout 2025 to building a more meaningful life and to reduce overwhelm, to avoid burnout, set healthier boundaries. The program that I run is a 3-month program and it's heavily customized to you, so we can definitely talk about what you're hoping to achieve in our time together. But if that is something that interests you, head over to my website, sarahcanada.com, click on Work With Me, and I'll just quickly spell my name. So Sarah is spelt conventionally with a H, so S-A-R-A-H. My last name is spelt C-A-N-N-A-T-A. And if this is something that interests you and you're keen to understand and learn if we vibe and we're aligned, you are very welcome to reach out to me via email and we can jump on a Zoom call at a time that suits. So my email address is info@sarahcanada.com, same spelling as what I just said for the website, but I'm going to leave it there. I really hope you had some solid takeaways from this episode, but the most important thing of all is to believe in yourself and to realize that with work, with effort, and with time, things can change for you if you're feeling a little bit underwhelmed at this time of the year as we head into a brand new year. Thank you, and I will speak with you next week.